Let's outside move on. So we mentioned Melvin Gordon, and he as a potential MVP candidate, 100-1. But if he has a huge year and the San Diego Chargers have a huge year, it's probably going to be the next guy on your list who's going to take home the MVP honor. And he is 7-1, according to Caesars, to do that. Number 12 on your list is
Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers. I mean, where do you start the conversation with the guy? I mean, first of all, just a guy I'm rooting for, okay? Yeah. I mean, he's got into John Elwayville for me, where it's like, you know, I want to see, like, this one's for John, this one's for Phillip.
Sure.
Because, I'm rooting for him. I mean, I think he's a great quarterback. He's done things the right way, competes, tough, fearless in the pocket. I mean, availability, right? I mean, he's never been hurt. Like, he's an Iron Man that way. So all those things are great. You know, athlete? No, not exactly. Pocket passer? Definitely. Guy who can manipulate the pocket, guy who can stand in the pocket and have just absolute chaos around him and not give a damn and still keep his eyes down the field. That's where I look at Phillip Rivers and just go, man, is he unbelievable that way. He really is. You know, a little bit like, I don't know if you heard what I said with Nick Foles, but Phillip Rivers is one of those guys where I look at and go, you know, there'd be a play or two, pressure around him, and he throws a lob down the middle. And, you know, Mike Williams goes up and catches it around 3 people, and I go, oh, that was lucky. I mean, I can't believe he got that. But then he does it like 7 more times during the game, and you start to go, well, shit, it ain't luck. He's that good at doing it, and he's got that great a feel. And that's what Phillip Rivers is. Aggressive mindset. He's more of a placer of the football. I'm going to place it in a spot where my guy can only get it and your guy can't. He's not going to wow you with, like, holy cow, what a rifle, and look at that spiral just cutting through the wind, and that's 70 yards down the field. No, that's not what he is, and he's certainly not that at this point of his career. But he's still a guy that wants to attack down the field. His eyes are always down the field, so he's aggressive from that standpoint. And he's still got a great feel for hitting some of those down the field shots, the intermediate passes. He's never really looking to be Charlie check down. Yeah. And I look at all those things and just go, yeah, that's where Phillip Rivers is unbelievable to me. In the last 2 years, and especially last year, you know, he went through phases of his career where he was so clutch and the Chargers were always on these, like, we're losing, and Phillip Rivers brings them back. Then he went through a few years in, like, 14, 15, 16 where he got in those moments and I went, no, Phillip Rivers lost the game. I mean, he just made some dumb mistakes in the fourth quarter. I don't know. But he's gotten back to, like, the Phillip Rivers we saw at the beginning of his career where he's just making unbelievable plays throughout a game, and especially at the end of the game and its biggest moments, like we saw with the Chiefs game last year and all of that on the Thursday Night Football game. Now, the negative is the arm, which was never special, is, to me, starting to lose some miles per hour. Whether you want to look at the first few throws of that Kansas City Chiefs game, go back and watch that when they were in Kansas City. There's some underthrown footballs. Some of the throws made in the New England Patriots game and the playoff game where, it's just underwhelming, where I don't know if he has the power in his arm to stretch defenses out like that consistently over and over anymore, or if it is a tight window to really rifle it in there. That's not his game, and that's kind of where I worry about him at this age of his career, because I feel like New England, Ahmed, basically was like, you're good, you're really good, but we don't think you can throw it over the top of us and scare us that way, and we're going to challenge anything 20 yards or below and really make it hard. And, he had a hard time kind of backing them off that way.
They're going to have to scheme for that. Yeah. It's amazing to me that he has been so durable, started every game. Right. Every game for them since 2006.
It's insane.
13 seasons. Absolutely going back to San Diego. I called them the San Diego Chargers. They're the L.A. Chargers.
You idiot.
I feel like that'll happen the rest of my life. It was like growing up, there was
once a week. I almost do it.
My friend's dad called the Raiders the Oakland Raiders, and that was when they played in L.A. He goes, I go, how could you call them the Oakland Raiders? They've been in L.A. my whole life, and now they're back in Oakland. Now I'm going to call them the Oakland Raiders.
Who knows what you're going to call them?
Even when they're in Vegas, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, it's a problem.
I feel like Phillip Rivers is the kind of guy who I watch on TV, and I don't like him. He seems kind of whiny at times. Yeah. He seems not like a great guy. And then you learn about him off the field, and you learn that he's totally different different than that guy. He's well liked.
Yeah.
It's almost like his public persona is not matching to what he's really like in real life. And I feel like that happens with maybe Aaron Rodgers in the other direction, where on the field I'm like, I love this guy, and maybe in real life he's not such a likable guy.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe he's the opposite Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But Phillip Rivers seems like whoever's around him, his teammates who are around him, they respect him. You hear nothing but good things about Phillip Rivers.
Definitely. And, I think to what you're saying, too, I mean, early on in his career and, through the meat and potatoes of it, I think there was a lot of people that felt that way because he's fiery and he just doesn't give a shit what the other team thought about him.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that truly was like, I like him when he's on our team, but if he's on the other team, I absolutely hate him and I can't stand him. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, he used to yell at the other team's sidelines. Remember him yelling at the Broncos and Jay Cutler and doing some of that stuff where you're like, man, that borderline's on unprofessional a little bit.
Right.
But he just doesn't care. I think he is that kind of a psycho competitor, and he's just tough and relentless that way.
He's all about football.
He is all about football. He's not afraid of getting into the face of a defender and not backing down that way. That's what I respect about his game. And, the Chargers are set up to be good, certainly. I mean, offensive line, receivers, they got it. Running back, you mentioned Melvin Gordon. The defense seems to certainly be talented. I mean, I would be shocked if the Chargers aren't in the mix of things come December and January.
With all that he has done in his career, I mean, real quick, would you put him in the Hall of Fame? Is he a Hall of Fame worthy quarterback? Or does he need to have that really big year where they go deep again into the postseason, maybe a Super Bowl run? Does he need one more big year?
I do think to solidify, this is a really good. All right, so this is where I would state, first of all, do I believe he's more Hall of Fame worthy than Eli Manning? I do. And I know that's crazy. It sounds crazy as I even say it. I go, yeah, okay, but I think he's played at a high level.
That's just because you really don't like Eli Manning.
It's not true, you jerk, okay? No, but I think he has a season-by-season basis, his play has been on a higher level. But I do think, yes, with the people that vote and things in the Hall of Fame, those lack of marquee wins or marquee moments could come back to haunt him. He's going to be an NFL legend no matter what, and I think ultimately he will get in the Hall of Fame, even if he doesn't have this playoff run, just because the numbers and the toughness and the fact that he was so relevant and the Chargers were so relevant for so long because of him. I think ultimately he is going to get in. I'm not necessarily sure sitting here right now today that I'd say he's definitely worthy of that. He's definitely a fringe candidate.
6th all-time in touchdown passes, but probably is one of those guys where the committee will talk about, think about.
Well, that's a question. I want to have that conversation with some old quarterbacks one day. I really do. And I've been meaning to ask people like Dan Marino when I see them and John Elway, and even my dad.
About the numbers now?
Yeah, where would you, what is the number? If Dan Marino watched football today, how many extra yards does he think Tom Brady or Peyton Manning have just because of the era, the screens, the picks, all these things that really weren't available to them? What's the number they would give to them because of just the era? I mean, to me, I would say it's close to 20,000 yards. If you played 15 years from 80 to 95 and you played 15 years right now in this era, I think you're getting a free 20,000.
Same talent level,
right, as compared to that era. Right. Yeah. Because the rule, I don't know. I'm just saying, that's just food for thought. I'm throwing out in the conversation.
League average numbers.
Yeah, maybe you can figure it out. Right.
Since then.
Yeah.
And can you name all 9 kids for Phillip Rivers?
Absolutely not.
Just throw random names out there. There's a good chance that he has a kid.
What is it, 6 girls, 3 boys?
So 7 girls.
2 boys?
2 boys.
Right.
They just had a girl born in March.
Okay.
So they have 9. So just start saying some names, see if you get.
Charlotte.
No, they don't have a Charlotte.
Samantha.
No Samantha.
Are we going more Southern names here, maybe?
A couple.
Annabeth.
Anna. Yeah, Anna.
Okay.
Is their new born in March.
3.
You got Anna.
1 for 3.
Okay.
Megan. I don't know.
No Megan.
That's not Southern at all, but I just came to my head. Sharon.
No Sharon.
Damn, I'm blanking on my Southern names.
Okay. You got 8 more.
Give me a first letter.
S. There is an S first letter.
I said Samantha, Sharon, Savannah?
Not Savannah, although that's a great guess.
Oh, I know. It's such a Southern name there.
They have a Sarah. They do have a Sarah.
Damn it. I got an Aunt Sarah, and she's from the South. What an idiot I am.
Here's G. There's a G name, very Southern.
Georgia?
Not Georgia.
Jeannie?
Not Jeannie, although that's a good guess.
Yep, I have an aunt that's Jeannie, and she's from the South as well.
Grace.
Grace.
I feel like Grace is a very southern
man,
name.
yes.
Haley, Caroline, Grace, Gunnar.
Caroline, I should have guessed.
Sarah, Peter, Rebecca, Claire, and Anna. Just
wow.
in March.
So Gunnar and Peter are the boys.
Gunnar and Peter.
All right.
Peter's 7.
Gunnar Rivers,
Gunner's
Peter
10.
Rivers.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got a baseball team.
He does.
He's got a baseball team.
Gosh, I can't even imagine having 9 kids. Please,
At
no.
9. And he still
I
makes
would
the commute.
never.
They live in San Diego.
Yes.
And he commutes from
that
LA to
amazing-
San Diego. You've seen that.
I've seen it. The thing he
SUV.
travels in, right.
He's got it all tricked out in the back, right?
Right.
Big screen TV, can watch film. He says he watches more film now than he probably did when he was in San Diego because that's all he does on the ride home. And
In LA traffic, of course. What else you got to do?
that is
He's
true.
like, I've been in the car for 2 hours, honey. And she's like, well, where are you at? He's like, I'm just outside the facility still.
Yeah, we
I just moved a mile.
The gate went down in the facility, and now I'm well on my way. So Phillip Rivers, he was at 13th last year on your list, 12th this year. So by 2032, he'll be number 1 if he sticks around that long, incrementally creeping up.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.